Coffee with Dr. Johns, a series which we will like to discuss various topics related to beef cattle nutrition, herd health, and management. My name is Brent Williams, and this is Dr. John Johns, and we're with Berkman Nutrition. Right now, we'd like to discuss some of the new research and new applications that we've discovered using MGA as part of our pasture breeding program. Dr. Johns, you've got some thoughts and ideas about that and some research that you were involved in, and we'd like to hear those.
I appreciate that. Thank you. MGA is a synthetic progestin. It's really an old product. It's been around for a number of years, and originally was designed to be used as a growth promotant and then later in reproduction. It was particularly useful in synchronizing cows and making them come into estrus at the same time and for use in artificial insemination. Some of the drawbacks with it, however, for that purpose were you had to feed it for 14 days, then withdraw it, and the cattle would very rapidly over the next 48 to 72 hours come into estrus, but it would be infertile, so you didn't get very many of them settled. They would come back in on the next cycle in a relatively tight manner, and you could get them settled. However, research from the University of Kentucky over the last few years has looked at using MGA with natural service, feeding it for fewer days, only 7 days, and then examining what the benefits of that were. And what they found is a significant increase in pregnancy rates and a significant increase in weaning weights by just simply feeding MGA for 7 days. Some of the research that I want to relate to you was done, again, as I said, at the University of Kentucky. It involved about 3,000 head of cattle on trial. The results of the research from this trial showed that with the cows that did not receive MGA, they achieved an 81% pregnancy rate, still well managed. However, for the cows that did receive MGA, they had a 91% pregnancy rate, a 10% advantage in the number of cows that got pregnant. The really important and significant part of this research looked at how many of the cows became pregnant in the first 30 days after turning the bull in. With the group not receiving MGA, that amount was 41%. Not bad. Well-managed cattle. With the group that received MGA, it was 71%. So 30% more cows bred in the first 30 days of the breeding season. And when we consider that the number one factor that influences weaning weight is age of calf at weaning, you can understand why getting the cows bred early is so important. Because of this earliness, there was a fairly large difference in weaning weight. We were able to get weaning weights on over 1,100 head of the calves, equal numbers in each treatment. The calves weaned to the cows that did not receive MGA was 564 pounds versus 605 pounds for the calves with the cows that did receive MGA. So a significant difference, a significant increase in pounds of calf to sell. 7 days worth of MGA will cost approximately $3.50 per cow. So a significant increase in income due to the extra weaning weight for a very minor expense in feeding the product.
I think that this type of use of MGA is something that all farms need to take advantage of. I mean, do you see it being used in heifer development or in recip heifers? Or
Absolutely, and we have a good bit of data with some people that are developing heifers, as you know, for the bred heifer sales, and their success with this product is outstanding, and they continue to use it year after year. It's simply fed for 7 days. On day 8, best part of it is it's unlike the old methods of using MGA. You don't need more bull power. The cattle will come into estrus, but they won't come into it all of a sudden and all at once. More of them will come into estrus over the normal 18 to 21 day period, and that's what is so significant about this. We get a lot more of them bred very early in the breeding season, but we don't need more bull power to do it.
One of the questions that we get quite often is, what if one of the cows got bred and we weren't aware that she was bred? Will MGA hurt her at all? Or if the bull accidentally busts through the gate and gets in on day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is there any harm to the bull feeding MGA?
MGA is an extremely safe product, and the short answer is no, there's no harm. It makes the cow simply think she's pregnant for as long as we're feeding it. So even if she is pregnant, it doesn't matter. It's not going to harm her at all. As far as the bull going, if he has access to this, there is no harm on his future reproduction either. I think the important thing to remember here is, though, that the 7 days is critical. You want to feed it for that length of time, but longer is not better. In fact, longer can have some detrimental effects to you and reduce fertility in the cows in the first initial estruses that show up. So, yes, I think that is important to realize the 7 days is the maximum amount that you want to feed the product.
Dr. Johns, we've heard this wonderful research and the information about how MGA works and why we should use it. Is there a particular product that Berkman Nutrition offers that can make this more convenient?
Yes, there is a product. Berkman Nutrition offers what we call Matchmaker Cubes. It is a fairly large cube. It's designed to be fed on grass because by the time spring breeding starts, most cattle are out on grass, so we don't want to have to get them up and go to a trough or something like that. So we do have the product that can be fed on grass at 2 pounds per head per day to get the right amount of MGA into the cattle.
We appreciate you talking to us today about MGA. We've had several herds use the product in this application with phenomenal results, and will continue to use it. I think this is something that all farms, whether large or small, needs to consider for the upcoming breeding season that they're going to be in. We thank you today.